Alright, hi, I'm George Jacobellis. I'm going to show you the thermocouple project. I worked with Jerome and Scott on this one. So basically how this works is we have this proto board. We have power coming from here. Power goes to the rails. There's two things you need for power. So these two wires take the power from the power supply to the actual board. We also need power coming from these rails down to this instrument amplifier over here. So we have negative and positive. This instrument amplifier is just two voltage followers and then a high gain amplifier. It has a gain of around 200. And basically the output of that, this blue wire, goes to pin number 5, sensor number 5 on the wireless module. And then so the input of that right here is these two leads from the thermocouple. They are submerged in ice water right here. So these two are the cold junction, and then this part is the one we're going to measure. So basically how we connect to it, we first turn it on, which I just did, and then you have to actually connect to it, which we just do through the Windows networking. We click on the Wi-Fi GSX, so it says it's connecting. You have to wait a little while for it to connect, and then basically we use TerraTerm to connect to it. So the settings we have to go through, we have to type in this IP address, which this is the actual IP address that is set for the wireless module. We communicate over Telnet, and it's also the wireless module is set to a port of 2000. So we type all that in and connect, and it doesn't always work right away. Sometimes you have to do it 2 or 3 times. So then there's a command to enter command mode, which is $3. And then the CMD pops up, which means we're in command mode. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run a macro. So this is a macro that we've written. It's just that has a bunch of commands. The main command, the most important one, is this command where we send the line show Q5. And that basically causes the sensor to show the voltage on pin 5. And then it does some stuff with that macro. It converts the voltage to temperature. And we basically have this equation right there. It also has a point where it takes the hexadecimal number and converts it to an actual numeric number. We do that with a command called this command called string to integer. So that's how that works. So we're going to go ahead and just have this leave the thermocouple in room temperature, so it should measure the difference between room temperature and the ice bath. So we just go to control macro, and we run this macro, and so this it shows what command it's sending, and then it runs the macro. It loops and collects 5 temperatures and creates this log file. So let's go look at the log file, and it's about 21 degrees Celsius. So now let's take another measurement. I'm going to go ahead and put the lead in another cup of ice. So now it should measure close to 0 degrees. So we just go run the macro again. Take about 5 more temperatures. And we get a new log file. And it's close to 0 degrees Celsius. It's 2.